Hello and welcome to the Talk Villa podcast. I'm your host, Samit Paul, and in today's episode, we are looking back at Aston Villa's battling 2-1 win over Manchester United on Sunday. A stunning strike from Morgan Rogers broke the deadlock just before half-time, but Villa did concede just minutes later to go in level at the interval. However, it was that man Rogers once again who produced a moment of brilliance after the break to secure all 3 points, as Villa made it a staggering 10 consecutive wins across all competitions, 7 of which have now come in the Premier League. As with every game, I'll be discussing my 5 key talking points as we have a deeper dive into the win over Manchester United. But first, as always, let's have a listen to the boss, Unai Emery, and his thoughts on our win as he spoke to Villa TV after the game.
Good evening. Thank you, supporters, how they are transmitting their energy and their wishes to try to enjoy here together. Of course, we need to show our tactical idea, our individual qualities, and as well our energy to try to connect here and do something special here. And we are building it, and really we needed the supporting, and today they were fantastic here. The atmosphere we create here, a great atmosphere to support us. And how we are here feeling is really fantastic, because the players, they are feeling strong here, and they are feeling comfortable playing, and they are feeling here like something that's our fortress. And through it, we are competing, and we are being resilient as well, and we are showing our individual skills and then our wishes to try to get a special moment through different competition, Europe or Premier League, and of course my message is enjoy each moment, enjoy each match, enjoy each day how we are doing, and then try to focus the next match like our challenge.
Difficult not to talk about Morgan Rogers, the form he's in at the moment. 2 goals last week, 2 goals today as well. He's really producing for you.
Yes, he's really a fantastic guy, and he loves football. He loves Aston Villa, and he's a really very important player in the dressing room, because he's always positive. His energy is fantastic, and then his qualities, and he's progressively getting better, feeling confidence and scoring goals and getting numbers is very important. Of course, sometimes we can play offensively brilliant, defensively brilliant, individually brilliant or collectively brilliant, and we need different moments for the players, for the team, and of course to try to share together everything.
Mm-hmm. What a fantastic way to close out the year as well. You mentioned the atmosphere, the fans, very, very special to you, I know, but what a great 2025 it's been for Aston Villa.
We are happy, and we are here and enjoy each moment. Everything we did is done, and again try to build a new way, a new era, a new challenges we can have. And of course, Merry Christmas, enjoy with family, and we are see you soon next week again in Chelsea.
That was Unai Emery speaking to Villa TV after our 2-1 win over Manchester United on Sunday. So on to my 5 key talking points then, and we'll start once again with our goal-scoring hero, Morgan Rogers, who continues an incredible turnaround after such a difficult run to start the season. Now I have to say it really is incredible to analyse the turnaround that we've seen from him. He's now got 7 goals and 5 assists in 24 appearances. And he's also putting together a highlights reel that's worthy of having his own goal of the season competition. 2 more sublime strikes on Sunday, and his confidence is clearly sky high. He's fueled by the trust and the faith shown in him by Emery, who's never wavered in backing him. While we perhaps had some question marks and concerns over his early season form, Emery who said that he was going to play him through it, he was going to learn from the experience and get better from it, and that has proven to be the case. Hopefully he can continue to deliver as our X factor this season, and as he looks like the one that can inspire our push for success. I will say that we can't over-rely on him either in the coming weeks and months. It's a joy to see him perform at this level and to overcome that difficult period in his young career not so long ago. But we also can't expect him to deliver these moments week in and week out. Others have to and will no doubt step up. But as I say, it's just brilliant to see Rogers turn his season around, lead from the front and show the quality and the potential that he's undoubtedly got. So credit to him, and another brilliant performance. The official Villa account didn't even bother running a poll, I don't believe, a vote on the man of the match this weekend. Such was the feeling that Rogers was the clear favourite and deserved it more than anyone else. I will say that Emi Martinez was decisive with some of the saves that he made, so a shout out to him. and also to the skipper, John McGinn, who I thought put in a really important shift for the team in terms of linking things together, holding play up and giving us a bit of a foundation and a platform to go on and win the game. So credit to those two, but without doubt, Morgan Rogers, man of the match. On to the second point then, and that is the Ezri Konsa and Victor Lindelof partnership still needs work. Now, we've obviously got Pau Torres and Tyrone Mings sidelined by injury at the moment, and neither are expected to return in time to face Chelsea on Saturday. So we will likely see the Konsa-Lindelof partnership continue. Now, putting Konsa's mistakes against West Ham last weekend aside, I think they've performed pretty well individually in the last few games. I praised Lindelof for the shift that he put in filling the boots that Pau left behind. But I think as a duo, their chemistry and understanding still needs to improve. I was watching the first half and I did feel as though we looked really vulnerable at the back. If United were alert enough to it and good enough to execute it, I thought there were big spaces in between our back four that they could have exploited. And that happened on numerous occasions when we had a higher line and they didn't play that ball over the top or want to carve through our back four. Cunha in particular should have punished us with a free header that he had in the second half. There was a gaping space between Konsa and Lindelof in the heart of our box, and the pair of them were sort of looking at each other after that chance went by. So I think there's got to be a big improvement in that if we're going to go up against Chelsea and Arsenal in particular in the next two games and try and come away with a couple of clean sheets. Pau's partnership with Konsa has set such a high standard. It's been integral in our run of form. And there's always likely to be a drop-off in his absence, and hopefully we'll get him back sooner rather than later. But we do need to see more solidity in the heart of our backline in the next two games, I do feel. The third point is that Ollie Watkins is still searching for form. Now, there were reports a few weeks ago that Villa's talisman was struggling with a knee issue and he hasn't been at 100% fit for some time, and that went a long way in explaining his struggles so far this season. He obviously scored his brace against Brighton at the start of the month, which suggested that he might have rediscovered that goal-scoring touch that eluded him in front of goal in the early part of the season. But he's now gone 4 games without one again to follow that up. I still think he's making really good runs. His movement is excellent. You can see in the way that he's able to peel off defenders in one-on-one situations. That's his movement and cleverness on the pitch to exploit those situations and get into those positions. But whether it's looking a yard short of pace, not being able to get free of his marker once that ball's been played, or not being clinical enough in threatening situations, he does good bits in terms of the cutback and the ability to create the opening for himself, but he's just not got that ruthlessness at the moment to take the pressure off those around us, particularly Rodgers, from having to make up for those shortcomings in front of goal. So it's on Emery to continue to help him find those spaces and to make those runs to exploit weaknesses in the opponent's backline. But then it's all on Watkins' shoulders to make the most of those situations, and it benefits him, it benefits us if he can do that, and hopefully he can get back in some goal-scoring form in the coming weeks. On to the fourth point, and that is Villa must cut out the mistakes. Now, we are unnecessarily making life more difficult for ourselves. We saw that at West Ham with Konsa's mistakes, and we saw that again in the first half against Manchester United. It was Matty Cash this time who cheaply surrendered possession in our own half. The message will no doubt be clear from Emery this week is cut out those mistakes. We've got to cut them out if we want to compete at the top level. Yes, we have an identity and a style of play which involves playing out from the back. And no, we shouldn't abandon that as it's integral to how we successfully break so many teams down. It's part of our identity. It's part of the way we want to play. But there is also an element of game management and playing to the situation. Cash will know himself that he should have just got rid of that ball and ensured that we were ahead of the halftime break. And don't cut inside, create a problem for ourselves. Just play it down the line and you've avoided that whole situation. So we've got to cut them out. And I think we will, but if we don't, we're going to continue to get punished for them. And we're not going to have these magic moments from Rodgers or anyone else, Buendia, whoever it may be, stepping up and getting us out of jail. So, yeah, we've got to cut them out. And hopefully we can see that with a much improved defensive performance against Chelsea this weekend. The final point is that it's a big week ahead to prove our credentials. Now, as I mentioned last week, we can dare to dream about what we can achieve this season, but personally, I'm still looking over our shoulder and down the standings And I'm looking at that sweet 7-point lead over Chelsea in 4th place, which looks pretty good right now for our Champions League qualification ambitions. Emery was adamant again in his post-match interviews, and I think Morgan Rogers also said it, and Yuri Tielemans has since said it as well, that we're not bothered by the noise outside of the club. We're not bothered about all the talk that's building about whether or not we're title contenders. We can entertain that conversation about what our objectives are deeper in the season. If we're still in this position, match day 30 onwards, if we're in with a shout, then great. We'll embrace that challenge, that tag, and we'll see where we can go with it. But for now, for those who are perhaps already convinced that we're contenders, who are possibly starting to believe with these wins that keep racking up, Chelsea and Arsenal in the space of 3 days will tell us a lot about where we're at. For now, all the eyes are on Chelsea, taking it one game at a time. That's what Tielemans reiterated in his post-match interviews. And hopefully, if we can get a positive result at Stamford Bridge, go into the Arsenal game with even more confidence that we've already got, then who knows, if we can get a result at Arsenal, then great. But the approach and mentality is clearly next game up, who is it, and focus fully on that performance and result. Now, obviously, with this one, it's fair to say that our record against Manchester United over the past couple of decades has made for dismal reading. We've been on the wrong end of some depressing comebacks and some woeful nights against them. And it's been one win in our last 26 Premier League home games against them. Obviously, that solitary win came in Unai Emery's first game in charge in 2022. That sort of teased the change in fortune against a team that we've really desperately struggled against for so long. We've had to wait for another win over them at Villa Park, but this one obviously felt as though there was much bigger significance to it, more than just improving that woeful record we've got against them. We've experienced countless games against Man United over the years in which we felt as though we deserved so much more than the outcome. So it felt pretty bloody good to see us reverse those roles in this one. Wasn't convincing. We weren't at our best by any means, but as we've done throughout this 10-game winning streak now, we've ultimately found the way to get the job done and get the 3 points. And it's just great to see this team show the resilience, the grit, the determination to keep digging deep and get over the line and keep winning games of football. So what were your talking points from our win over Manchester United? Do you believe that Villa are now genuine title contenders, or do you think that that talk is still premature? If you're listening on YouTube, leave your comments below. For those listening to the pod via Apple, Spotify or other means, head over to talkvilla.substack.com and get involved in the conversation over there. That's a wrap on this episode of the Talk Villa podcast. A big thank you for listening. I really do appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Please subscribe to the pod or channel depending on where you're listening, whether that's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube. Give the episode a like or leave a review if you've enjoyed it. Sign up to the Talk Villa Plus newsletter on Substack for ad-free Villa news, opinions and analysis delivered directly to you. And there is also an option of a paid subscription for bonus content. All the details will be in the description of this podcast, but for more, please go to talkvilla.substack.com and subscribe. So as I say, that's now 10 consecutive wins across all competitions, 7 on the bounce in the Premier League, and we remain in 3rd place, just 3 points behind leaders Arsenal, while we stretch that lead over Chelsea in 4th to 7 points. It's Chelsea away on Saturday, which is a massive game in terms of extending our lead over them, as well as trying to keep up the pace with the top 2. I'll be back on Sunday to discuss that game and all the big talking points from the week. As I said in the last pod, the January transfer window is also fast approaching, so if there's any big transfer news, we'll get into that and we'll discuss that further. But until then, big 3 points, a big win over Manchester United at home finally again, and until next Sunday, up the Villa.